Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Back to You podcast. I'm your host, Lily Riley, and I am so excited that you are back for another episode. I'm so excited to be back behind the mic, and I'm cracking up because someone commented on one of my videos today saying that my place looked like a museum. This is the Airbnb that I'm staying at. And I actually started looking around and I looked at, there's like this rope up there, there's a loft, and then this back window to this back area. I was like, you got a point. It kind of does look like a museum. But no, this is my Airbnb. And I'm currently coming to you live from Brazil, from Florianopolis in Brazil. I was here back in October and I just kind of decided to come back for a multitude of reasons that I will be sharing actually in the next podcast. But I'm just in Brazil just for a piece of knowledge for you if you're tuning in on this. So I want to talk about something that has been really, really alive for me. And quite honestly, if you go back to all of my podcast episodes, you can see how I'm moving through this in different ways. You can see how I've been expanding in this in different ways. And the reason I share this is because what I'm going through, what you see within me is actually what you see within you, is a reflection of where you might be dealing with this or facing this or being challenged with this in your own life. And a huge focus for me recently, has who is it that I really, really want to be? And I've made this big identity claim for myself this year. I actually made a big identity claim for myself when I left my corporate job, starting my business, starting this whole adventure, which if you've been here since the beginning, I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm so eternally grateful. And stepping into that identity has been so challenging and so beautiful, and a really great reframe that I heard forever ago and I have claimed as my own, not claimed it as my own, but I say it and I share it, and I say it to myself when I need it, is that things outside of me are not hard. The thing is not hard. It's what it's challenging inside of me to change. And this new identity that I have claimed, this version of me that I have been stepping into, has been challenging me in so many different ways. It has been challenging the parts of me that are required to change to become that version of me. And this is why change can feel so hard. This is why it can feel like everything's falling apart, because in some way it is. Because when you claim you want to be a new version of you, you're stepping onto a new path. The other one has to crumble. The other one has to fall apart for the new one to be revealed to you. But the way it's revealed to you is when you have the courage to take a step. It's all belief. It's all trust. If you get anything from anything that I share, if anything that you want to create in your life, belief and trust and the action you take before it's revealed to you is required. But the problem is most people wait for the path to be revealed to you. They say, I'm not going to take a step on that until I know. Well, no wonder why you're stuck. No wonder why nothing is changing. And this is a huge piece when it comes to choosing who you want to be and getting super clear on how do you really want to live your life? How much money do you want to make? What kind of relationship do you want to be in? What career do you want? What relationship do you want to have to yourself? What do you want your health to look like? I mean, these are really big claims. You get one life to be you. And if you're not claiming getting clear on who that is, you are losing time. You really are losing time. And I think it's more so about who you haven't allowed yourself to be rather than who you want to be. And it's so funny it's not funny, it's how human beings work. But whenever I'm doing sessions with my clients and we're recognizing all these big energetic blocks, and we get down to the root of what it actually is, because everyone thinks it's the money. They think it's the career. They think it's not that they're getting leads. They think that it's the relationship. They think it's the fit. They think whatever the surface level thing is. But actually, no matter what avenue we look down, whether it's your health, wealth, relationships, or spirituality, or relationship to self or something greater, it's all the same thing. And when we get down to that root, it's so, I always love asking this question of zooming out and hopping to, well, how do you see this show up with money? They go, it's exactly the same. And then in my mind, I'm like, yeah, of course, right. But it's so interesting to see when people make that switch in their brain, they make that they have that realization that, oh, this is how I see life. That's when we get to turn up the knob on who you get to be. But the really powerful piece is when we go down to that root, that's the belief you created about yourself because of something that you went through. It's who you believed you had to be safe, to be seen, to be loved, the way that we had to manipulate ourselves to survive in the environment that we were in. No fault of our own. And that was the best with what we could do at that time. And there are byproducts in our life because of that. Everything, our money, relationship, health, relationship to ourselves, all of it's a byproduct of who we've believed we had to be. And when you claim you want to be someone, we all say we want to be these people. We all say we want to make money. We all say we want to go for the business. We all say we want great health. We all say we want the loving relationship. But if it was a choice, you'd already be doing it. If it was truly a choice, if it was truly a decision, a conscious decision, you'd be doing it. But these subconscious patterns are what are running your life, because you don't rise to your desires. You fall to the needs of your subconscious. That's why working at the root is the work. I'm not saying strategy doesn't work. I'm not saying all these things don't help you. But if they helped you, you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast. You probably wouldn't be taking in all of my content. Probably wouldn't taking in not in just mine, but everything else. If knowledge and knowing and information was the answer to you getting where you wanted to go, you'd already be there. You have all the fucking information. You have all the knowledge. You have all the access. We have so much access to so much information of how to change our lives. It's like overwhelming. But that's not the problem most people have. It's how to implement it. It's what's actually in the way of you implementing it. Because we'll try to implement these things. We'll try to make these changes. We'll try to make more money. We'll try to change the diet. We'll try to date differently. Whatever the external situation is that we think is going to change our lives, but we always seem to get back to this place. So when we make these claims and these identities, it's so important to actually realize who you've allowed yourself to be, and who you have only allowed yourself to be, to the capacity in which you felt safe, right? That's your limitation. That's what's going on. And when we make these claims, the part of us that isn't that falls away, which gave us this sense of safety. How much money felt safe for us to make, the amount of money, right? Like how we felt around what we're making now, right? If you're making like 50, 60, 70K a year and that's what feels safe for you, it's going to be really difficult and a pretty big jump to start claiming you want to make 100K a year or even 80, 90K. And there's all these stories around what we're allowed to have, who we're allowed to be. And when we step into these worlds that we really desire, that we can feel, like that pull that you feel, that like, if you're listening to this, you have a pull. People who listen to my podcast don't not have a pull, okay? And I know you do. Even if you don't know what it is, you can feel it. Even if you don't know exactly what you can feel that what you're doing isn't that. That's what I am 100% certain of. And if you're not, you can message me and we'll have a chat. And that's why I love this, because this is more of this. I know the people that listen to my podcast are people that desire more in their life, that have tried everything, have done the work, have tried all the external changes in their life, yet their life does not fully shift. And I'm not saying that there's not parts that are wonderful and amazing. I get it. There's probably improvements you made in your life, but improvement does not mean expansion. It does not equate to expansion. One of my favorite lines by Peter Crone is, oh my gosh, I say it's my favorite line and now I'm forgetting it. You are the best version of your limited self. That's most people. You're the best version of your limited self. You can biohack, you can optimize, you can, apply all the strategy in business. You can be in a relationship, but there's something that doesn't truly shift. because the root is what is causing that. The root is what's holding you back. And when we really do that work to get to the root and that starts falling away, it's fucking scary. I'm telling you, it's scary. I'm moving through it in a new edge, in a new way. And this version of me that I'm claiming to be, she requires a lot, which means a lot has to fall away. And beliefs around money, around relationship, around what I'm allowed, of who I'm allowed to be, of how wide and deep I'm allowed to expand in my life. It's fucking scary because it challenges everything that I believed growing up of what felt safe for me. Maybe it wasn't actually the safest thing, but that's what my nervous system and my subconscious knew because it had no other choice. It had nothing else to compare it to than what it was exposed to. It didn't. So what I knew was what I knew. Does it mean it's the most optimal and at the most actually safe? Fuck no, it's not. But was it what I had to be, the version of me I had to be safe within the perception of other people in my life? Absolutely. And that's the part, peeling that away, having that go away in whatever area of my life, it is scary. And it feels very uncomfortable. And I have had a lot of anxiety. I've experienced a lot of anxiety. I've experienced overwhelm. And so much of this work that is so potent and so beautiful is the ability to sit with it. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to figure it out. I'm not sitting here trying to intellect. What could this be? What am I? No, I'm not doing that. Because I don't do that with my happiness. I don't do that with my bliss. I don't do that with my peace. I'm not like, I wonder what this peace is really about. I wonder, why am I so happy right now? Why am I laughing? What's so funny about? I just allow myself to be. The only thing is we have a conversation around the overwhelming and stressful parts of ourselves or the experiences or the feelings because we don't know how to sit with them. So when I feel these things, when I feel this overwhelm, when I feel things are falling apart, when I feel anxiety, just sit there. I just be with myself. I breathe. I'm not trying to say, what am I anxious about? Because it doesn't matter. Whatever I think it's about, it doesn't matter. And it's important to also understand that piece. And I'm at the point with my energy work and getting to this is I don't have to intellectualize it. I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to be like, well, maybe this is about money. Maybe this is about my business. Maybe this is about my blah, blah, blah. No, I sit here and I stay with it because it passes. Because when I don't make a story about it, when I stop creating a story around it, and I just noticed this is a part of me that wants to be felt. It's just asking to be seen, not to have a conversation, not to chat about it, but just to create space for it. I'm free. That part of me is free to just be here. Because like I have said in so much of my work and so many of my podcasts, Lily Riley is the spectrum of what it means to be her. I am the spectrum of what it means to be me. That is everything. That's my happiness. That's when I'm feeling love and mushy and gushy. It's when I'm feeling peaceful. It's when I'm feeling stupid and silly. It's when I'm feeling like whatever. It's also when I'm feeling anxious and when I'm feeling neurotic and when I'm feeling angry and when I'm feeling sad. It's all of it. And it's all allowed to be here. And I don't want to have a conversation around my sadness. I did that for years. That was my whole life growing up. I wasn't allowed to express emotion because my caretaker didn't know how to sit with their own. So then they didn't know how to walk me through it. And I can have compassion for that. And I get to do it a different way. And so when I'm around people, and this is a really tactical thing, well, it's like, okay, well, what if I'm feeling anxiety or whatever around other people? You just say, hey, when people are trying to give you answers or give you solutions, all I say is, look, I'm just allowing this to be here. I'm just expressing it like, I'm just feeling this. Doesn't mean anything about you, but I'm just going to sit here and be with myself. That's it. That's all you have to say. And it's so freeing because when you do that and you allow that space, that's really when you can sit with yourself and use those things to calm yourself down, to be with it, to just create a calm environment within to allow it to pass. That's all it's asking to do. All you need is like at most 10 minutes if it's really intense. Really, you can get it down to like 2 minutes, but it's a practice. It is a practice, and it's okay if it feels overwhelming. It's okay if it feels hard. This is something new. Imagine if you've been writing with your right hand for so long and then you go and you do it with your left hand. It's fucking irritating. You're going to struggle to write an A the same way you wrote it with your right hand. But if you do it enough, you'll be able to write with your left hand. People who lose their right hand and they're right-handed, they lose it, they learn to write with their left hand. You're no different. You just have the option to write with your right hand. You just haven't done it with your left because it's too irritating. Why would I do that? Maybe this is my sign I need to start becoming ambidextrous. But I'm totally digressing here. So this part of my journey is truly to just be with. And what meditation really means is to be with. Meditation means jack shit if you are not applying that stuff in your day-to-day life. I don't care if you meditate every morning. I don't care if you visualize or do whatever. If you are doing that and then through the day you completely forget and you're not applying any of that, what does it really matter? Like, people think visualization is the answer, and of course it's a part of the puzzle, but it's not the thing that's getting you where you want to go. Like, visualization alone is not going to create your life. Affirmations alone are not going to create your life. EFT tapping, that's why I'm like, it's kind of bullshit until you do all this work. And you know that that I'm super serious about that. And I'm not saying that the practice itself is, but what I don't agree with is when people say, okay, when you're anxious, EFT tap and say affirmations. That's like little version of you that's feeling overwhelmed and crying, and you're like, what are you doing? How is that really helping? Those practices are super helpful when we've regulated ourselves. We are in a place of clarity. Then you can use that stuff for sure. But if you're doing it to try to affirm away your overwhelm or your anxiety or doubt or questioning yourself or being scared, no. There's things we can do to calm ourselves down for sure. Breathing's beautiful for that. But it's not the solution. That's the distinction here. Is it can be used as a tool. It's not a solution. Same with vision boards. Okay? Your vision board's not going to get you your dream life. That's my stance on it. I don't do vision boards, actually. I have done them before, but the work that I do, I feel like is way more potent than a vision board. And the only time I will do a vision board is when I'm doing this work, but I feel like I don't need to make a vision board because it's just kind of happening with the work that I'm doing, which is why I teach other people to do it, because nothing I teach someone else is not something that I'm currently embodying, working through, or has worked for me and my other clients. I don't teach anything that won't work. I'm not going to be here and give you solutions and then people are like, what the fuck, this doesn't work. Why would I do that? So I'm getting completely off topic here, but that's kind of the point of all this. That it's okay if it feels like stuff's kind of falling apart. It's kind of the point. And to just let all of that chaos and all of that be here. And to remember that anxiety, sadness, doubt, overwhelm, it's not going away. The objective is not to make those parts of you go away. And there's nothing wrong if they feel like they keep coming up. They're a part of you. It's about working with them and allowing those parts of you to feel seen and feel heard, feel held, and feel loved, and to give them a home. Your body, mind, soul, the combination of all of it, it's their home. They get to kick their shoes off and just be. Imagine your emotions as little children living inside of you, and you're the home that you wish you always had. When you were a kid and you felt sad and overwhelmed, did you want your parents saying, get the hell out of here? Get out. We don't want to deal with this. Go away. That's perpetuating the same energy in which those emotions were not allowed to express when you're doing that. Saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Why isn't it going away? Well, isn't that how you were treated by your parents? Do you see how the whole thing perpetuates? Or by friends or relationships or whatever that was. The way that we talk to ourselves is the way that we were talked to. And by doing that, it only perpetuates the very thing that we're trying to avoid. So my best advice for you moving forward is, how can you be with yourself? How can you live an in real time, practice meditation to give space to these parts of yourself that are just asking to be seen. They're just asking to be heard and held and loved. And you're the only one that's capable of doing that. Truly. No one else can do it in the way that those parts of you need you to see, hold, and heal and love them. Take healing out because they don't want to be healed. They just want to be held by you. Because there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with those parts of you. They don't need to be healed because they're not broken. They're perfect as they are. And they're allowed to be here in the potency that they come up. Without a discussion around it. Without conversation around it. Because really, what's it been like for you to avoid and push those parts of you down? It's felt like hell. It's felt exhausting. It's felt tiring. It's felt scary. And to feel scared and to feel exhausted, all you want is peace. All you want is safety. All you want is to be held. And when you feel held, when you feel in peace, when you feel loved, what is it that you really feel with no conversation around it? You step into pure possibility. Welcome home, baby. Welcome back to you. We are truly back to you when we are in that space. So that is my little lily drop for the week. And I really want to be more intentional about making these and doing it weekly again, because this is not only medicine for whoever's listening, but it's medicine for me. Because we are all so interconnected. We're all moving through the same shit in our own way, I promise you. If you really listen, everyone's going through the same shit that you're going through in their own flavor, in their own way. We are way more similar than we are different. So I send you all my love as always. Appreciate every single one of you tuning in. You guys seriously have my heart, genuinely. And I'm so blessed that I get to share this with all of you in the way that I have. So yeah, have an awesome week. And I can't wait to catch you on the next one.